Hello bookworms, I'm Becca, and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I read in 2017. I've been seeing this video floating around the past week, and I feel like I didn't see it as much last year, and I really like this idea. So basically I'm going to go month by month and list out all of the books that I read throughout the entire year and the star rating that I gave them. Starting out in January, the first book I read in 2017 was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Orchards by Holly Thompson, and I also gave that one 4 out of 5 stars. In February, the only book I read was The Sky Between You and Me by Catherine Alleyne, and I just knocked this down to 2 out of 5 stars. Moving on to March, the first book I read in March was Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, and I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and I also gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I started out April by reading Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Bernard, my favorite book of 2017, which I, no surprise, gave 5 out of 5 stars. And I just want to point out that now A Quiet Kind of Thunder is available in the US, and the cover is absolutely stunning. So if you've been waiting to pick up this book because you've been hearing me talk about it nonstop all year, you can do that now. And I closed out April with reading We Are Okay by Nina LaCour, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I only read one book in the month of May, and it was If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I started off June with finally reading A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Highly Illogical Behavior by John Corey Whaley, which I ended up giving only 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah. Then I read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Out of My Mind by Sharon M. Draper, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I finished out one of my new favorite trilogies with Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I also read my first graphic novel of the year, This One Summer, which I ended up giving 4 out of 5 stars as well. I also read Burning by Danielle Rollins, which I ended up giving 3 out of 5 stars. I also read Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And I closed out June with Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin, which I also gave 4 out of 5 stars. I started out the month of June by reading Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And then I followed it up with Not Otherwise Specified by Hannah Moskowitz, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved that book. After that, I picked up The Lake Effect by Erin McCahan, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Merciless 3 by Danielle Vega, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. After that, I read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Matilda by Roald Dahl, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I picked up Your Welcome Universe by Whitney Gardner, which I also gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I grabbed Schizo by Nick Sheff, which I ended up giving 2 out of 5 stars. After that, I picked up The Art of Not Breathing by Sarah Alexander, which I also gave 2 out of 5 stars. After that, I picked up Coraline by Neil Gaiman, which I also ended up just giving 2 out of 5 stars. And finally, I finished out July with Queens of Geek by Jen Wild, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Holy moly, June and July were massive reading months for me, and I did not even realize it. In September, I only read one book, and it was Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, which I ended up giving 3 out of 5 stars. Moving on to October, I started off with Wonder by R.J. Palacio, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars, and I also loved the movie. Then I read Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which I ended up giving 3 out of 5 stars. And I closed out October with Dear Martin by Nick Stone, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. In November, I also only read one book, and it was Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Which brings us finally to December. I read 4 books, starting off with the first volume of Princess Jellyfish, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Anatomy of a Scandal by Sarah Vaughan, which I'm only going to end up giving 2.5 out of 5 stars. Review coming soon. Then I read Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And my last book that I read in 2017 was Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. So those are all 30-ish books that I read during 2017. One thing that I noticed when I was going through my ratings is that I rated a lot of these 4 and 5 stars, but a lot of them did not make my favorites list for the end of the year. So I think that I'm really going to evaluate my rating and be a little harder on my rating system because, yeah, I mean, generally I really enjoy most of the books that I read, so that is reflecting in my rating, but they're not all my favorite books. So I found that really interesting. And then a couple of my books that I considered like my least favorite books of the year, I ended up having like 3 and 4 star ratings for them. So that was really interesting to see. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what books I read, especially since I kind of fell off of doing consistent monthly wrap-ups, so I really want to get back into doing those. Let me know down below in the comments if you read any of the books that I read during 2017 and what you thought of them. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below to see more bookish videos. That's all I got for you guys today, and I will see you next time.